I get extremely frustrated whenever I see kids on YouTube make a day in life videos. Instead of showing people what they actually do, they just show off their playground work environment and say boba in front of the camera. Ugh. Anyways, this isn't a rant video, so let's cut to the chase. I currently work as a software engineer at DoorDash. For the few of you that don't know, DoorDash is a food delivery app. We have two main apps. One for ordering food, we call it the consumer app, and another one for couriers, we call it the Dasher app. So what do I actually do as a software engineer? My primary role is to develop our iOS consumer app, the app that you're using to get your food delivered while you're self-quarantined. Before I dig into my day-to-day work, let me briefly summarize team structures at DoorDash to give you a better context. At DoorDash, product teams are formed into what is commonly referred to as pods. Each pod, if you will, takes ownership and responsibility of a certain user experience, product feature, technical domain, and etc. Structures vary across teams, but a product-based team is typically composed of a few backend engineers, front-end web developers, Android engineers, iOS engineers, product designers, a product manager, an engineering manager, and these strange creatures that deal with business side of things. It's never clear to me what they actually do. Many consumer product companies these days are structured that way. The team that I'm currently with is responsible for launching and maintaining our new business vertical, DoorDash Convenience. The TLDR is that we want to deliver more than just food. From its conception, DoorDash aimed to be the leading last-mile delivery logistics company, so it makes sense that we want to expand our offering by delivering bananas, apples, and toilet papers. Now that you have a better context, let me show you what I typically do as an iOS engineer in the DoorDash Convenience team. We recently launched the first version of the Convenience product. I'll be using that to show you my work since it's all public now. Cool. You can now think of my role as a cycle of 3 phases. The first phase is when we finalize the product requirements. That's the phase where I code the least and use my soft skills the most. My day-to-day work will involve me attending meetings with business and design folks to provide my insights and time efforts and estimations. I'll also bounce off my coding-related ideas with other iOS folks in the company and give them a heads up about the product that we're building. Since literally millions of people will be seeing this product, we have to be extremely cautious and plan accordingly. I typically write up a document that details my approach for adding the feature to our existing iOS app. Pretty much everything, from my decision to use certain architectural patterns to the use of any specific iOS components, will be documented and shared with iOS consumer team. Once the product and design requirements, as well as coding decisions, are finalized, the next phase is coding. This is my favorite phase, to be honest. I'll be given a deadline based on the estimation I provided to complete the project. My day in life of this phase looks something like: we kick off the day with daily stand-ups where we talk about what we did the day before and what we hope to accomplish on that day. After the stand-up, I pretty much just code all day. It's really as simple as that. To make myself extremely efficient, I reject all calendar invites that aren't absolutely necessary for my coding work. That includes events, office hours, and pretty much everything else. I prefer catching up by reading follow-up emails after I'm done coding. Since focusing is critical here, I try to say no as much as possible. If a person from another team asks for something, I simply refer them to someone else. Context switching can be costly, so I try to eliminate distractions as much as possible. Many of you email me questions about my workstation, so I guess I'll just answer them now. The only hardware I use is a 15-inch MacBook Pro that the company gave. It comes with a 2.4 GHz Intel Core i9 processor, a 39 GB memory, and a 1 TB storage. The office is well equipped with monitors, keyboards, and other accessories. Since we're all working from home for self-isolation, the company also shipped a few accessories, such as a monitor. I rarely use it though. As a side note, I don't think you'll be needing any of this equipment if you're just starting out and want to learn iOS development. You'll be fine with nothing but a good old 2015 MacBook Pro. Lack of equipment, in my opinion, is just an excuse for most people. Here's how I work. Since this is a relatively big project, I'll divide it up into multiple tasks. This is an important exercise to ensure that the work is neatly organized. I like to categorize the tasks by UI, business logic, network requests, and testing. Once a task is complete, I create a pull request and ping my peers to review the code. After a few battles, my code gets merged and is ready to be deployed. The product launch is the third phase of the cycle. The first couple of weeks can be very intense because we'll be closely monitoring the launch by checking the health of the app. That is, making sure that users don't experience any crashes, check the health of the API network requests, study tracking events, and so on. Once this process is complete, it's time to kick back, relax, and ignore Slack messages from my boss. Phase 3 is the most rewarding and relaxing phase. We typically enjoy it for a few weeks before moving back to phase 1. As you can see, my day-to-day job varies from phase to phase. Some days are relaxing and other days can be quite intense. I personally like this hunt and feast lifestyle, but it may not work for everyone. Of course, not all engineering roles, teams, and companies are the same, so do keep that in your mind. Thank you.